the other part of my journey, like, not only do I want to be a pro player, but I want to be like a game developer. So
Okay.
I've sort of been doing like I've been making games for about 3 years now, and
Okay.
I actually put in like I got an LLC, so technically I have my own game company, and I tried to
Let's go.
pay some people. It's funny because I was watching your video about like why you stuck with YouTube all this time,
Mhm.
and I guess maybe I didn't grind it out hard enough, but yeah, definitely like it really lowers the motivation when you're like paying people and then they sort of just drop off, or
Mhm.
like they don't really have the motivation to like share in the vision and stuff like that.
Well, that's the thing too, bro. I know,
So
know we're doing Smash out here, but we can kind of delve into the business side of things a little bit. It really is tough. To have people care about what you care about as much as you, especially when it's not their job, right? It's like
yeah,
having somebody care about your kid as much as you do. It's like it's just not happening, right? They can say they do, but they don't, and they'll never get it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So I guess paying people like before you really know like how the relationship is sort of like a mistake, especially as like a small business where you're bootstrapping and stuff.
I think the biggest
Um,
mistake ever is paying people that you actually already know. Then they put the friendship before the professionalism, and it turns into, well, he's not going to yell at me, and he's never going to fire me, and we've been friends for however many years. So if I take 4.5 months to do this, we're chilling. It's whatever, right? And it's like, well, from the perspective of you, he is your best friend and you have known them forever and you're not going to get mad, and they're probably going to do it for cheaper than someone who is a quote unquote professional that is a complete stranger. So the fact that it takes longer and then the motivation falls off or whatever, and then you're not pushing them because you feel uncomfortable doing that or whatever it might be. It just turns into a whole thing, most definitely. That's like the thing that's tough about like making your own game or trying to branch out and be something special or different is that, and this happens with my YouTube channel as well. People say they want something, then you give them that thing, and they're like, "What the hell is this?" It's like, "Well, you asked for this." It's like, "But this is just so different, and I don't want to learn something brand new all over again." Kind of like,
oh yeah,
they want something apparently brand new and innovative and special and different, but they want to know how to already play and already be good and not have to learn anything. It's kind of tough because like if you want to make competitive games, it's very hard to make a game that is new and special and different enough to not be like, oh, this is a clone, but not so different that people don't give it a chance, right?
yeah. So I don't like want to do anything super like specialized. I guess what I mean by like innovate is like the RTS genre, for example, is super stagnant. Like nobody is really like
Mm-hmm.
trying to do like any different kind of like mechanics or matchup stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There is Frost Giant. They're trying to make like the next gen RTS.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's like nobody really plays RTS anymore.
I was gonna say, like, just from the perspective, it really depends on what you're trying to pull as an audience. Are you trying to pull people who already play RTS, or are you trying to build your own community of people who just found it and think it's cool? Because
I think
one of
a
the
little
big
bit of both.
I feel like the biggest or the hardest thing about doing that is trying to like get people to be into your thing, right? Because like I'll say, for example, right now the most popular game style in the world right now is shooters. Shooters hands down,
Yeah,
whether it's battle royale or multiplayer, right? Battle royale probably is the biggest right now. We have Fortnite, Apex, and Warzone, right?
I love Apex. I think that's a really cool game.
And yeah, like I feel like the reason why people gravitate towards those types of games the most is because if you've played any shooter game ever, the idea is kill the other person, don't die. That's basically it.
Yep.
There's different weapons to get the job done, but that's basically it. Is kill the other person, then don't die. If you know how, if you played any shooter game ever, you can, for the most part, navigate through a shooting game, right? There's all kinds of things you can pick up on the ground. It's kind of like a scavenger, like not necessarily Breath of the Wild, but like people like the open world. People like the collecting of things and playing as a team, stuff like that. And I feel like if you were to try and make something, honestly, if you could make Warzone without hackers, you'd be a billionaire. Like it's really quite simple if you can make that.
Dude, it's so hard to prevent hacking
Yeah.
in any game. Well, not only that, it's like also I've actually never had a good coach up until a few weeks ago, and
Mhm.
I hired this guy because I felt like I was in like mental blocks. Like I kept trying things. Like
Mhm.
I was trying to start businesses for like 5 years, and I just never got anything out of it. And I was like, well, maybe like I'm holding myself back.
What
And
do you
I
mean? What
thought,
do you mean starting businesses? Is that
well, I started e-commerce, a couple of e-commerce stores. Like I was trying to do consulting. Uh, I was trying to be like middleman sales for like uh, not real estate, but like construction companies. I was trying to do that.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I was trying to do MLM for
Okay.
like Legal Shield, like selling legal insurance. It was just like so many things, and
Mhm.
like I would always like get in my own way because of my mentality. I feel like I could have done good at a few of those things,
Okay.
though I don't know if those were the right options. I feel like I'm really much closer to what I want to do now. But after I hired Tom, he was one of the coaches for Dr. K. Have you heard of him?
No idea.
Like healthy gamer. He's like he's been like gaming therapist niche on YouTube,
Okay, I'll have
but
to check them out.
he helps a lot of people through like anxiety, depression kind of stuff, which
Okay.
I don't really have, but he also talks about like motivation and like how there's a lot of myths surrounding like how we get ourselves to do things because we're basically just like meat machines, right?
Hmm.
Like we don't always have control about how we feel, but the point is I didn't recognize that like I, I thought I was a logical person, but the majority of my life I've been guided by emotional decision making, which is why I've like always sort of given up and like
Hmm.
um, really not done very well in a lot of things.
I got a
And
question
I'm
for you then,
now that
quickly, just really quickly.
yeah,
How long have you tried to do the things that you've tried to do before you say, you know what, this is way too hard?
I think I did Legal Shield for about 6 months.
That's not long enough.
Yeah,
What about
no.
what's the other stuff?
Um, I tried to do the sales thing for like 2 months, and it was brutal, man. Like I don't think I could do that, but
Okay.
uh,
Have you done
yeah,
anything
I gave up
for
on that.
Have you done anything for about 2.5 to 3 years?
On and off, trying to be a pro player.
Okay.
So League of Legends, I think I grinded for like 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I know like solo queue in that game is brutal, but still it was like on and off, like not really consistent.
Okay.
Definitely, partially like sort of falling off because I wasn't believing myself, but also life events happened. I just
Yep.
didn't have my shit together. So like, yeah,
I feel like,
and I
bro, like, and I'm still waiting for the punchline here for why, like, with the whole business thing versus like the coach. I'm guessing the coach kind of talked to you about some of this stuff. Like, where did that come
yeah,
into play?
no, I actually recognize a lot of the biases that I had. For one, like the main one was that I thought I was making logical decisions, but I was letting like the emotions of uh
Like
like
parents
distractions and
or like
stuff.
what kind of emotions? Like you're getting in your own head, or like
Yeah,
your
getting
best
in my own
friends tell you
head,
you're not gonna make it, and you're like, oh,
uh
maybe they're right. Like,
like doubting myself, uh like getting distracted all the time by like stuff, like trying to work out consistently and being like damn, there's like other alternatives and stuff. Like I want to work on so many things,
mhm.
but like it's often like what I feel like working on that day. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's really hard to get consistency down if you don't have recognition of your emotional drivers. I think a big part of life is like sort of like making compromises with yourself. So like,
Mhm.
you can't just like go into a job for 20 years and be like, oh yeah, after this 20-year grind, like, I got my retirement, I'm all set, I can do whatever I want. Like that sort of mindset is like setting up for suffering.
Also, that's a
So I think
mindset
there's a
from the
lot of
past as well. Nowadays, that shit doesn't exist. The fact that you can dance on TikTok and make more money than
yeah,
your parents, that wasn't even a thing, right? I would
yeah, it's
say,
crazy.
bro, like, and I know we're definitely not talking about Smash at this point, or we're way past that
Yeah.
shit, which is fine. But I would say if you, like, what do you like? Before you even get into money or a future of any kind, what do you like at all? Like, do you
So
like you said you like to
gaming,
build game, like not build games, like to design games?
it's less about what I like. Like, yeah, I definitely love video games. It's like I'm semi addicted to them. They're literally part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But video games like changed me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm the reason why I am who I am is because of video games. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, not only did they help me through times of suffering, but like they've also like my best friend, like I've been playing with him for 13 years. It's like I have a realization that there's a big potential for fulfillment within the space of gaming just for the sake of games being what they are.
Mm-hmm. It's just
So
a
I
cultural
think,
thing too, like just being
yeah,
part of a
it's like
community and whatever else. But yeah.
life isn't so simple that it's like, oh, you're wasting time playing games. It's like games can actually lead you into life.
And here's the thing too,
Like,
bro. Games as a entirety of a category of things on Earth, games and esports make more money than music, TV, and
yeah,
movies combined.
yeah.
Combined. So,
Hopefully, it doesn't become a commodity like the music industry. That would be crazy.
well, I can't even say that that ship hasn't sailed yet because there's basketball teams buying esports teams. Right? It's just it's very much so a money making machine if you're in the right atmosphere or in the right community, right? But what I
Yeah,
can say too is if you are someone who wants to do something fulfilling, that could be anything, right? If you're thinking gaming is fulfilling and you don't care about the money, then sure. Like if my mom could go and dig in the garden every single day and get paid for it, she would, because that's fulfilling to her, right?
yeah. It's that, but also more. It's like I'm recognizing more and more that if I follow not just like my passion, but like it's so many categories. It's like, what are you good at? What do you like? What does the world need? Like all these things put together. It's like more than 60% of households own a gaming console. So it's like, got to be doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I recognize is like, if I sort of like go down this road of working with my emotions instead of against them, like I'm not telling myself that wanting to be a pro player is a waste of time,
Mm-hmm.
and like I actually work at that, I sort of have faith that the other stuff will come along. Like I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll make a community. Maybe I'll make like the next competitive video game. Like I have no clue. But
Mm-hmm.
all I know right now is that like if I if this is sort of like my strength and like what I'm going down and what I can relate to other people in, this is sort of the best chance that I have of making those like connections that are sort of gonna give me a more fulfilling life.
Well, here's the
I
thing
think.
too, bro, is I would say definitely don't ever look out for the world before you look out for yourself. Because you said you want to do partially like what does the world need? Like what the world needs is more people that know what they want. That's what the world needs. They don't need people wandering around saying, I wish I could help people. It's like, have you helped yourself? I'm not saying that you're like in a damsel in distress type of situation, but more often than not, if you're trying to help the world before you help yourself, eventually you run out of gas mentally and financially, and then you're fucked. Because it's like, well, I want to continue to do this because it is helping people, but I can't eat. I can't pay rent, or I have to like shut down my YouTube channel, or stop going to tournaments, or stop working on my gaming, or working on the game I'm designing, or whatever it might be. Right?
Yes, I have a chill part-time job. Like I literally work at the grocery store down the road, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's cool. Like I enjoy the people I work with. I only work 30 hours and it pays my bills. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not definitely not struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have a lot of I wouldn't say self-awareness, but I've thought a lot about like what I want out of life and um,
I also
like where
think
I want to go.
bro, that like, let's say for example you want to do game design. This is something I've talked about with my own team, where if whatever you want to do, you have to follow through. You have to follow through, not to like 85 or 98% completion. You want to do 100% completion on whatever you're trying to do. So let's say if you're trying to design a game and it takes you 4.5 years, if you quit 4 years in, you might as well have just not done it at all.
Yeah.
Right? You have to just finish the whole
That's
thing.
the turning point.
Even if it's a disastrous game.
I think I'm ready to make that sort of commitment. Like, I'm done like talking shit to myself, and like I'm ready to follow through. I think that's why I'm sort of like really.
You said you're 26,
diving
right?
in and looking for help. Yeah.
So, being 26, let's say you work on this game for another 4 years, and then you actually like along the way you're gonna meet people and you're gonna get designers, or you're gonna get potentially sponsors, or you can do a GoFundMe or that anything like that. If it really turns into a serious thing. Or if it's something that turns into, like, let's say, a viral type of, like, a Among Us or a Fall Guys type of a game, and it just takes off in 1 year and it's a one-hit wonder, if you can take the money that you make from that and turn it into, I don't know, more and more projects, then I guess that it really just boils down to just not quitting, right? Like, no matter what you do, you just literally cannot quit. And also, I was going to say, 4 years from now, you'll be 30, right? And let's say you have a finished product at 30 and now you can start marketing it very, very heavily. And along the way, you have gotten some reputation under your belt and people know who you are in whatever community you might be in. Then you can start to push whatever you've done, right? But if you're nothing but ideas and that's it, then you're in huge trouble. It'd be like the same thing for me if I was trying to be a coach and I didn't have a YouTube channel that had 600 different videos on learning this game. My credibility just wouldn't be there, right?
Yeah.
The credibility wouldn't be there. The community wouldn't be there. Even if I was as good as I am and I knew as much as I knew, people would be like, all right, sick. Show me one coaching session that you've done. So I've never coached, or I've never recorded a single coaching session, right? Like, if that's what happens, then it's like, okay, well, somebody might just take a leap of faith and say, okay, fuck it. Like, I'll just try because who cares? But the average person needs to see, oh, you've coached 750 players. Oh, you have over 6,000 hours in this game. You have 630 videos on the channel. You have 36,000 subscribers. Oh, okay. I trust this, or I believe this. And it didn't just happen in a year or even 2 years. It's been like since the beginning of the game, almost every single day, as far as putting out videos. So I guess like to bring it all back to yourself is if you're going to do whatever you're going to do, let's say if it takes you 4 years, don't think to yourself, it's going to take 4 years and this is so long. Think to yourself, in 4 years, this is going to be the real deal versus like getting yourself off the couch mentality.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? Like even for me, it's like, okay, so I'll admit during the pandemic, the channel has been tremendously struggling just because people hate playing online, right? And it's just not really a thing for a lot of people. A lot of people have gone to other games. People have quit Smash entirely. Some people are now just getting into it as well, right? But a year from now, or 2 years from now, or 3 years from now, or whatever it might be, I will be 5 years deep into this, and there's a chance that the last year or 2 years of struggle in the pandemic will be not a joke, but like something that we talk about, like, oh, remember that time when it was super hard to do anything in Smash because everyone was online and stuck indoors and didn't want to play? Oh, good times, I guess, you know. But then it'll be like, let's say 3 years from now, completely out of that situation, right? And I'll be back on track, I guess you could say. So I guess it's just it can be a struggle for yourself too if you find 4 years in out of your 4.5 years shit's just not working, right? If you get to that point where it's like things are just not working, people just don't care, right? Eventually, actually not even eventually, you just have to just muscle through that, or just like lay low for a little bit, keep yourself encouraged or motivated, and then
it's not a loss. Like,
you
keep doing it, eventually it'll work. Like,
there's
only 3 ways you can win: you're first, you're best, or you outlast everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you're new, like, it's almost impossible to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
If you're first, you're off to a running start. Can you keep it up though? That's the hard part. That's really like the only option for most people to.
I think the biggest thing too, bro, from what you told me, is that whether or not you've decided to go another direction or you want to call it quitting or whatever it is, the things that you've tried to do so far, you haven't done them long enough. That's just what it is. It's the same thing I can say for myself. There's some things that I've done in the past where I did them for pretty long. Like, in my opinion, they were like a year or a year and a half. It's like, okay, realistically, for what I was trying to obtain, that wasn't even close. That wasn't even close to long enough. It's like, did you save up $30,000 first so you could buy a building or lease this thing or hire staff or get a website finished or get some professional production done or pay for marketing? It's like, if you say no to all of those things, even if it took you a year and a half to get as far as you are, you haven't done anything.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not saying it has to be $30,000. I'm just saying, do you have a team? Do you have a website? Do you have a logo? Do you have an idea? Do you have blueprints to put out your idea? Right? Do you have people that have an idea of your vision? Do you have a mentor? Right? If you say no, but I do have a rough sketch on my Photoshop of a main character for a game, it's like, well, that's not a game design. Right? Put it into an engine with zero shaders and have it look like ass, but have the fundamental idea of how it's supposed to run, have it work. Make one level. Right?
Yeah.
Something
yeah,
like
I've released
that.
a few games.
Yeah, so if you have that kind of a thing, it's like, okay, so if you release a couple games, go into a Discord or go on, like, start a YouTube channel. Like, the point of a YouTube channel, realistically, is to grow the YouTube channel primarily. The second thing is to market whatever you're trying to do, right? If you're a high-level YouTuber, you have sponsors, or you have merch, or you have music, or apparently you're a boxer. Like, there's things that you're marketing all the time, right? You don't just put out a video and say, all right, guys, I guess the video's just done. See ya. Like, even the idea of marketing, like and subscribe, right? You're doing stuff like that all the time. So for yourself, if you have games and you don't want to pay for marketing, or you physically can't pay for marketing, let's just say, some of the best marketing can be word of mouth, right? It can be your friends. It can be getting into a Discord. If it's a multiplayer game, it's even better. You can be playing it on stream as well. Getting your friends to play it on stream with you. Get it onto TikTok. Start making videos of yourself or getting clips of it on TikTok, even if it's super primitive and it looks horrible, but the concept is there, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. It might be cool to like record my journey from like absolute noob to like being a pro or whatever. But
And if you can pull that
I
off
guess
too, then do that, right? Realistically, content is content, and even like right now, a lot of people in my chat are very invested in our conversation because you've kind of done some storytelling and giving your backstory to why you care about this and why you want to do what you're trying to do, right? So if you can document that kind of a thing for yourself to say, okay, this is my beginning vision. One day I was at a flipping restaurant and I wrote down this idea on a napkin, and 5 years later I am now a millionaire and this game is now selling and it's on Twitch and people play this and stuff like that. Right? If you have that whole journey, like that, obviously that sounds a little too easy, but a lot of ideas kind of did start like that, where it's literally just an idea, right? So if you want to, let's say, document your journey, what does your journey look like? Is it documenting like a vlog, documenting like posts on Instagram or TikTok, or is it YouTube videos, or is it streams? Is it literal documenting, like typing things out like a log? Right? Also, if you do document it, are you documenting it for yourself, or are you documenting it because you want people to watch the ride? Right? Do you want people to watch and be like, wow, this guy's really smart, this guy's really amazing, or this is really interesting or funny or whatever it is? Or is it just for yourself?
Yeah, I think it's a real benefit for a lot of people to sort of just like be vulnerable in the journey, because like a lot of people like share the same struggles.
Mhm.
So like when you're starting from nothing, it's like very well relatable, but also it kind of like helps give
Mhm.
people hope. So for me, it's like if I don't want to make more than like 75K a year. If I ever make millions of dollars, I just want to build up people and around me that are like, you know, they share the same journey. It's like, you know,
Mhm.
video games made us who we are. Like, you know, we can give back. It's like we're not just destined to just grind away video games the rest of our life. And I don't know.
Do you stream?
I used to stream League, but yeah, I haven't touched my stream in years. But I could. I mean,
Well,
why
that's
not,
the thing.
right?
A
I'm playing.
lot of things you're saying right now is I might or maybe or someday or I could. You got to just turn it into I'm going to. Just say straight up, I'm just gonna do this. I can say like just as a closing thoughts because I do have another student right now.
Oh,
When I started my when I started my channel in the first place, I had zero plan as to how well it's going to go, who I'm going to market to, who my audience is going to be, how good the quality of my videos were going to be or anything. I just started. And my first video was trash, but I didn't really care. I just put out stuff until people found it. Right? So for you,
Yeah,
if you
that's
start, just start.
where I'm at.
It doesn't even matter if it's like, oh, this game doesn't look good, or oh, I don't have music, or my main character doesn't have a name. It's like none of that shit even matters. Just do it. There's a lot of companies out there that just start and then they get their logo or they get their name or they get their mission statement or whatever it is months down the line. Right?
Yeah, that's how it goes. Oh, I think that would be really beneficial to just sort of have that consistency.
For sure, man.
Like doing it alone, it sucks. Like it just doesn't
Trust me,
work,
bro.
so.
I can say even for myself, like doing my Meta of Smash channel in the very first place, like if I didn't have Shadow and if I didn't have like the people from the original Discord, like before the Meta of Smash Discord, I can't say for sure that I would have quit, but I definitely wouldn't have done as much as I have. Right? Yeah. Whether or not it's a ride or die teammate or it's just someone to be like, hey, can you watch this video and tell me this is trash? Can you look at this thumbnail and tell me if you would click on this? Right? Like it's more valuable than you think, even if the person's just trying to be nice, right? Because sometimes it can be that little bit of motivation to be like, oh, okay, like I want you to be harsh and tell me if this is good or bad. Like you don't have to like destroy me and say it's the worst shit ever, but also don't gas me up and lie. Or I want to know if I'm actually going in the right direction here. So, yeah, man. Like even for yourself, are you in a Discord for what you're trying to do currently?
Oh yeah, I have like every game development Discord. Like I'm always like shouting out and stuff, looking for help. Mm-hmm. So I am putting in some work. Just like nothing like super personal. Like no like consistency. That's the thing.
I would say also, bro, like for what you're trying to do, as far as marketing goes, get on Twitch, but also get on TikTok. And I don't want to hear TikTok is for girls dancing and little kids ear raping and dumb shit like that. Because of course that part of
my mom's sending me TikToks. I'm like, what are you doing?
I say TikTok, like that part of TikTok most definitely does exist, but that also exists on YouTube and also exists on Twitter and it also exists on Instagram and on Snapchat and everywhere. So it's like, okay, just don't go there as far as those particular areas. If you're looking for politics, it's there. If you're looking for dark humor, it's there. If you're looking for memes, it's there. It doesn't matter what you're looking for. If you're looking for fitness or nutrition or carpentry or cars, it doesn't matter. You can go anywhere and find any of that shit, right? So if you're looking to build an audience at all, I'd get on TikTok because right now there's definitely a cultural shift from the main platforms like YouTube and Instagram towards TikTok because people are now seeing that it's not so much girls dancing and, like I said, just kids playing with paint and people just doing dumb shit on TikTok, right? That's definitely still there, but there's a lot of fitness stuff there and there's a lot of gaming stuff in Call of Duty and Fortnite and Smash and everything else. It's all there, right? So for yourself, get into a pool. Like this is probably the most important thing. Get into a pool or a place where people are watching. You want to go where the eyeballs are, right? If you were trying to market yourself on MySpace right now, literally no point, obviously, right? If you're trying to get a community going on MSN, it's not going to happen, right? But if you go on TikTok, for example, it's probably, I don't know if it's the biggest community period yet. I think YouTube or maybe even Facebook still Facebook's obviously dead, at least in our demographic. I think TikTok is it's on the rise. Let's put it that way. I don't know if it's the biggest yet, but it's definitely on the rise. Instagram is probably still the biggest, and then TikTok's like right behind. But yeah, I would say start posting. If you don't want to post your face, then don't post your face, right? If you want to post screenshots and just talk, that's totally fine. If you have designs of stuff from your game that you want to post, then post that, right? You might have to post since you're brand new. You might have to post 2,000 times before you get any real traction, right? Along with that too, though, definitely get into some storytelling. And what I mean by storytelling is get people to be emotionally connected to whatever your story is. Whether it's I'm 26, I want to start this thing. I've had all these quote unquote failures of businesses in the past, which in my opinion weren't failures. It just didn't get seen through far enough. But I want to try and make this a real thing, and I want to get feedback from people. Ask questions in your videos, get people to answer those questions, right? Give you critiques, stuff like that. And you'll find a community very, very fast. That's one of the things right now about TikTok is it's technically an open market, as far as you can be the smallest channel in the world and still get 1 million views on a video, because it's not, I guess, monopolized by verified accounts, if that makes sense, or a trending page.
Yeah.
Right, like there is a trending page, but actually it's a For You page. I don't even know if it's technically trending, but yeah, that's the probably the main thing I would start doing, bro.
I'm gonna put it down and get a plan together.
Yes, sir. But yeah, man, I really do got to get going. I got my next guy sitting here on the bench.
Sorry to keep you up. I'll
It's all good,
I'll try to book you for Wednesday, and I definitely appreciate your time.
Absolutely, man.
Appreciate your help.
For sure. Just DM me on Discord so we get a time guaranteed, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
All right, man.
Sounds good.
Take care.
Later.